Thank you for joining us on the Real News Extra. My name is Fred. I'm the operations manager here at Relaw APC. And joining me today is Jennifer Felten, the principal and founder of Relaw APC.
Yes.
So Jennifer, as you know, one of our practice areas is helping our clients navigate the complexities of the Corporate Transparency Act. But what is the Corporate Transparency Act and why was it introduced?
Right. So this is the federal government, Felten. This is a Department of the Treasury, and they're concerned about bad guys infiltrating our financial system. And their charter gives them the ability to regulate in that space to try and mitigate the risk of foreign intervention, blackmail, bribery, drug money, all of that, trying to mitigate its circulation within our financial system. And so the Corporate Transparency Act is a way to try and collect information with the understanding that when someone forms an entity, corporation, an LLC, that entity now is going to own whatever property is related to that entity. Right. For example, if I own a house in my name, then my name is out there, right? And public records show my name. Whereas if I form an LLC, then my name is no longer associated with my house. It's a way to hide, right? Using an entity is a vehicle to try and hide who's behind it, and trying to, a way for bad guys to get themselves into the system by not using their name. This law allows the federal government to collect information about the people behind those entities trying to find people hiding assets from the government.
So who's most impacted under the reporting requirements of the Corporate Transparency Act, and what types of businesses should be really paying attention to this?
So the Corporate Transparency Act is trying to look for these shell corporations. So it's the small companies who are required to report. The rules under Felten are if you have less than 20 employees and less than $5 million in revenue, then you have to report. So if you're bigger than that, you don't have to report. Being that a company that big is not a shell being used by bad guys to hide. There are two other kind of core exemptions. If you're a nonprofit, you do not have to report, or if you're not an active entity. So there are people who have entities that they created and they're inactive. Those would not need to be reported.
Okay, but what if you are a company that does have to report under the Corporate Transparency Act? What are some of the steps you could take to ensure that you're compliant?
So the law went into effect January 1st of 2024. Anybody who was in business prior to January 1st of 2024 has until December 31st of 2024 to report.
Coming up soon.
They need to make sure that their timing is correct. They need to report before that. And you have two options. You can go online. Felten has an online portal where you can go fill in the information yourself, or you need to retain someone to help you do it. So it's something we do, but we're not the only game in town. Whether you use us, do it yourself, or someone else, just make sure you get it done before the end of 2024 in order to avoid potential penalties.
Great. Well, thank you for the information. And thank you for joining us today on the Real News Extra. If you're enjoying this content, I invite you to click on like or subscribe, and also click that little bell for future notifications. My name is Fred. I thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you on the next episode of the Real News Extra.